How do you feel about Arteta basically came out and he said, I think the quote was, or whatever, he talked about how they played well against West Ham and didn't deserve to lose and lost, and here they were terrible. But he says, we're going to go again. And I think the quote was, with new players, and he said, no, with the same players, meaning he certainly came out and said he doesn't expect moves in January. You said if there's opportunities, obviously if there's opportunities.
Yeah.
Is there anybody at Arsenal that you think they would like to move on? I look at somebody like Thomas Partey, who has disappeared. Maybe he'll pop up in Africa for the Africa Cup of Nations. Maybe not. I'm assuming that's one salary that you would very happily move on. He hasn't figured it all this season. You know my views on him overall as a player. El Neni they extended. I think El Neni can contribute as an alternative. There's been talk of shifting Kivior and bringing somebody else in to replace him because Kivior has a market because he's a left-footed center back.
And I think he wants to play more, which is a fair point.
Is this basically it? If we do see movement, it's going to be one of those guys? Is there somebody else?
Maybe, unless someone comes for an Nketiah, a Smith Rowe,
Smith Rowe on Arsenal. Nobody's going to give you. Smith Rowe has an
Arsenal. No, that's
contract.
what I'm saying. I don't know if there's a market for them.
Right.
But if someone comes in, if Crystal Palace wants a number 9 and they come for Nketiah with a good offer, I don't know. I would suspect that Arsenal look at it and see what they do, and if they can replace Nketiah, for example, or Smith Rowe, or Vieira, or Kivior, I would suspect they have already a plan in place for who could come next, and they would do that. But if there's no sale, I don't think anybody comes. And I think in a way Arteta is very happy with the squad. I don't think Arteta sees the number 9 as a debate. I think he needs a number 9 that is like Gabriel Jesus, because the style of this team and the way they play is built around a number 9. It doesn't have to be Gabriel Jesus, but a number 9 with that skill set, with Gabriel Jesus' skill set. That's it. You put Osimhen in that team, he might score some goals, of course he will, but he won't participate in the build-up play in the game like Gabriel Jesus does. And right now, this team is not built for a Osimhen number 9. It's built for a number 9 with the skill set that Gabriel Jesus has, which is dropping deep, touching the ball a lot, pretty much being everywhere, link up the play. And again, if you look at the West Ham game, there's the Saka header in the first half that Areola saves. This cross is from Gabriel Jesus. Osimhen never puts this cross in. Osimhen is not even there where Gabriel Jesus is there to put the cross in, right? We've seen Osimhen giving assist to Kvaratskhelia the other day.
Yeah, but in a different context.
But not same. On the other hand, however, where I'm with you, in the second half of that West Ham game, there's a header for Gabriel Jesus that is saved by Areola. I think Osimhen probably scores that goal. Or you would expect a 9 like Osimhen to score that goal. So it's a debate of what really you need from a number 9, or what you want your number 9 to play like and be like and have the qualities.
I think what I struggle with is, and I suspect this is, ideally, this would be Arteta's nirvana. When you speak of Gabriel Jesus dropping off and participating in the build-up play, in Havertz and Odegaard, you've got 2 people who could easily run past him. And maybe this is what he wants and what we've seen them do. Odegaard scored a lot of goals last season. Havertz, we've just talked about. I don't think that kind of automatic flow is there yet. And I know Havertz has just arrived. And I think, and obviously Gabriel Jesus had that long spell when he was injured. And by the way, I take your point, but when Eddie plays, it's completely different from Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
he can't do what Gabriel Jesus does. He doesn't even try to do it, right? And I think that's kind of the conundrum that you're in. If Gabriel Jesus could up his output somehow, and I think back to what, I think back to what Pep Guardiola said about Gabriel Jesus, where it's Jesus versus Ferran Torres, right? That was the context of it. He says Jesus' natural tendency is always to find space, and that often means run away from the goal. Whereas Torres is, in his view, and again, it's dated and whatever, was to run towards the goal. And I think if Arteta can crack that, then Arsenal go to the next level. And look, but that said...
But again, if you share the goals, then there's not even a debate on number 9 like last season. But then if this season you score less, your goal scorer is Saka with 6, I think, including 3 pens or something like that in the league. That's just in the league. Then the next one is, I'm not even sure. So you've got Gabriel Jesus on 3 in the Premier League, I think. Martinelli hasn't scored much. Odegaard neither. Maybe Odegaard is on 4, something like that. Havertz would be on 3. But potentially you've got players who could easily have, let's say 15 for Jesus, maybe 15 for Saka, 10 Martinelli, 10 Odegaard, 10 Havertz, and then a few from your defenders. This is okay. The problem is, if you don't share them and they're not on that level, then yeah, it could become a problem.